Hi, this is Linda on Eco Peace Christian channel on YouTube, and we're continuing on reading from 1 Samuel chapter 6. We left off on verse 8. We're talking about the Ark of the Covenant getting taken, and it creates some problems. So and take the ark of Yahweh and set it on the cart, and the articles of gold which you are returning to him, that's a capital H for Yahweh, Father God, as a trespass offering, put in a chest by its side and send it away, and let it go, and watch if the road to its own territory it goes up to Beth Shemesh. Then he has done us a great disaster this. But if not, then we shall know that it is not his hand, that's capital H for God's hand, Father God's hand, that struck us by chance. It happened to us. That by chance it happened to us. It has to do with as they returned the ark, because it created such destruction in their villages, the Philistines were sending the ark back. So verse 10, and did the men so, and they took two milk cows, and hitched them to the cart, and their calves shut up at home, and they set the ark of Yahweh on the cart, and the chest, and with the rat's gold and the images. I just want to make sure that people know that I'm reading from https://biblehub.com/interlinear/1_Samuel SAMUEL/6 chapter 6.htm. You just write the number 6, not chapter, in there. So interlinear Bible is the Old Testament is Hebrew to English or other languages, and you read it from right to left, backwards, if you're an English speaker. And then the New Testament will be in Greek to English, and that is regular, from left to right. So verse 12, and the cows headed straight for the road in Beth Shemesh along highway 1, and went as they went, and lowering and not did turn aside to the right hand or the left, and the lords of the Philistines went after them to the border of Beth Shemesh. Now the people of Beth Shemesh were reaping their harvest wheat in the valley, and they lifted their eyes and saw the ark, and rejoiced to see it. And the cart came into the field of Joshua of Beth Shemesh, and stood there, and there was a stone large. So they split the wood of the cart, and the cows offered as a burnt offering to Yahweh, and the Levites took down the ark of Yahweh and the chest that was with it, in that were in the articles of gold, and put them on the stone large. And the men of Beth Shemesh offered burnt offerings and made sacrifices that day to Yahweh. So when the 5 lords of the Philistines had seen it, and they returned to Ekron that day. Verse 17, and these are tumors, the golden tumors which returned the Philistines as a trespass offering to Yahweh for Ashdod, 1 for Gaza, 1 for Ashkelon, 1 for Gath, 1 for Ekron, 1, I believe those are towns in the Philistine area, culture at that time. Verse 18, and rats the golden according to the number of all the cities of the Philistines belonging to the 5 lords, cities both fortified and villages, country, and even as far as Abel, stone of Abel, the large, on which they set on that the ark of Yahweh, which stone remains this day in the field of Joshua of Beth Shemesh. So that would be good to see if there is a stone there in that area. And he struck the men of Beth Shemesh because they had looked into the ark of Yahweh. The he is capital, talking about Yahweh having struck the men. And he, capital H again, he struck of the people and 70 men, 50,000 men, and lamented the people, because had struck Yahweh the people with a slaughter great. And said the men of Beth Shemesh, who is able to stand before Yahweh, God, the God Yahweh, holy this, and to whom shall it go up from us? So they sent messengers to the inhabitants of Kirjath Jearim, saying, have brought back the Philistines the ark of Yahweh. Come down and take it with you. I just want to point out that the Israelite people were in Beth Shemesh, so they are the ones that just got killed. 50 men, 50,000. Let's see, it says 70 men, 50,000 men. So 50,000 and 70 maybe total, a lot of people lamented. Struck the men of Beth Shemesh. I mean, it sounds like a lot of people. It says great, with the slaughter great. So here's again verse 20. And said of the men Beth Shemesh, who is able to stand before the God Yahweh, holy this, and to whom shall it go up from us? So they sent messengers to the inhabitants of Kirjath Jearim. It's spelled Kirjath, capital Jearim, saying, have brought back the Philistines the ark of Yahweh. Come down and take it up with you. Take it with you. Chapter 7 of 1 Samuel on the interlinear at BibleHub.com. And came of the men Kirjath Jearim, and took the ark of Yahweh, and brought it into the house of Abinadab on the hill, and Eleazar his son consecrated to keep the ark of Yahweh. So it was that the ark remained in Kirjath Jearim and a long time, and it was there a long time, 20 years, and lamented all the house of Israel after Yahweh. And spoke Samuel to all the house of Israel, saying, if with all your heart you return to Yahweh, then put away small g gods the foreign, from among you, and the Ashtoreths, and prepare your heart for Yahweh, and serve him only, and he will deliver you from the hand of the Philistines. So put away the sons of Israel, the Baals, Baals, and the Ashtoreths. I think we hear of is that the one that has the pole and the May Day celebration? I don't know. and served only Yahweh. Verse 5, and said Samuel, gather all Israel to Mizpah, and I will pray for you to Yahweh. So they gathered together at Mizpah and drew water and poured it out before Yahweh, and they fasted that day and said there, we have sinned against Yahweh, and judged Samuel the sons of Israel at Mizpah. M-I-Z-P-A-H. When heard the Philistines that had gathered together the sons of Israel at Mizpah, and went up, the lords of the Philistines against Israel. And when heard of it, the sons of Israel, and they were afraid of the Philistines, so said the sons of Israel to Samuel, not do cease for us to cry out to Yahweh our God, that he may save us from the hand of the Philistines. And took Samuel a suckling lamb, and offered it as a burnt offering whole to Yahweh, and cried out Samuel to Yahweh for Israel, and answered him Yahweh. And as was Samuel offering up the burnt offering, and the Philistines drew near to battle against Israel, but thundered Yahweh with a thunder loud that day upon the Philistines, so confused them that they were overcome before Israel, and went out the men of Israel from Mizpah, and pursued the Philistines, and drove them back until as far as below Beth-kar. And took Samuel a stone, and set it up between Mizpah and Shin, and called its name Ebenezer, and saying, thus far, thus has helped us Yahweh. So were subdued the Philistines, and not again any more they did come into the territory of Israel, and was the hand of Yahweh against the Philistines all the days of Samuel. And were restored the cities which had taken the Philistines from Israel to Israel, from Ekron and to Gath, and its territory recovered Israel from the hand of the Philistines, and there was peace between Israel and the Amorites. Samuel judges Israel. Chapter 15. And judged Samuel Israel all the days of his life, and he went from year to year and on a circuit to Bethel and Gilgal and Mizpah, and judged Israel in all places these. But he always returned to Ramah, for was there his home. And there he judged Israel, and he built there an altar to Yahweh. 1 Samuel chapter 9. The subtitle is Saul Chosen as King. I'm reading from the Interlinear Bible at biblehub.com/interlinear/1_Samuel/9.htm. The subtitle is Saul Chosen as King. And there was a man of Benjamin, and whose name was Kish, son of Abiel, Abiel, the son of Zeror, the son of Betchorath, the son of Aphiah, the son, a Benjamite, a mighty man of power. And he had a son, and whose name was Saul, a handsome choice, and there was not a person among the sons of Israel more handsome than he. From his shoulders and upward he was higher than any of the people. And were lost the donkeys of Kish, father of Saul, and said Kish to Saul his son, take, please, with you one of the servants, and arise, Go and look for the donkeys. So he passed through the mountains of Ephraim and through the land of Shalisha, but not they did find them. And they passed through the land of Shalim, and they were not there. And he passed through the land of the Benjamite, but not they did find them. They, when had come to the land of Zuph, and Saul said to his servant, who was with him, Come, and let us return, lest cease carrying my father about the donkeys, and become worried about us. And he said to him, Look, now, there is a man of God in city this, and he is a man honorable all that he says. Surely comes to pass, so let us go there. He can perhaps show us the way that we should go. That. And said Saul to his servant, But look, if we go, and what shall we bring the man? For the bread is all gone in our vessels, and there is no present to bring to the man of God. What do we have? And again the servant answered Saul and said, Look, I have here at hand 1/4 of shekel of silver, and I will give that to the man of God, and to tell us our way. Formerly in Israel thus he spoke a man when went to inquire of God, Come, and let us go to the seer, for he who is called a prophet now was called formerly a seer. That's formerly a seer. Verse 10. And said Saul to his servant, Well said, Come, let us go. So they went to the city there, where was the man of God. Verse 11. They as went up the hill, the city, and they met some young women going out to draw water, and said to them, Is in this place the seer? And they answered them and said, There he is, yes, just ahead of you. Hurry now, for today he came to the city, because there is a sacrifice of today the people on a high place. As soon as you come into the city, you will surely find him before he goes up to the high place to eat. For not will eat the people until he comes, because he must bless the sacrifice afterwards. Afterward those will eat who are invited, and therefore go up, for this is about the time you will find him. So they went up to the city, they as were coming into the city, and there was Samuel coming out toward them. And therefore go up, for this is about the time you will find him. So they went to the city, they as were coming into the city, and there was Samuel coming out toward them on his way up to the high place. And Yahweh had told in his ear Samuel one day before Saul came, saying, About the time tomorrow I will send you a man from the land of Benjamin, and you shall anoint him commander over my people Israel, that he may save my people from the hand of the Philistines. For I have looked upon my people, because has come their cry to me. And when Samuel saw Saul, Yahweh said to him, There he is, the man of whom I spoke to you. This one shall reign over my people. And drew near Saul to Samuel in the gate and said, Tell, please me, where is house of the seer? And answered Samuel, Saul, and said, I am the seer. Go up before me to the high place, for you shall eat with me today, and I will let you go tomorrow, and all that is in your heart will tell you. But as for donkeys that were lost, your days ago 3, not to be anxious about them, for they have been found. And on whom is all the desire of Israel? Is it not on you and on all house of your father? And answered Saul and said, Am not in a Benjamite, I of the smallest of the tribes of Israel, and my family the least of all the families of the tribe of Benjamin? Then why do you speak to me like this? And took Samuel, Saul, and his servant, and brought them into the hall, and had set them in place of honor, the place of in honor, among those who were invited, and they were about 30 persons. And said Samuel to the cook, Bring the portion which I gave you, of which I said to you, Set it apart. So took up the cook the leg, and what was attached to it, and set it before Saul. And Samuel said, Here it is. What was kept back was set apart for you. Eat, for until this time it has been kept for you, since I said, The people I invited. So ate Saul with Samuel that day. I'm reading from the interlinear version at BibleHub.com. This is chapter 9 of 1 Samuel, verse 25. And when they had come down from the high place into the city, and Samuel spoke with Saul on the top of the house, and they arose early, and it was about the dawning of the day, that called Samuel to Saul on the top of the house, saying, Get up, that I may send you on your way. And arose Saul, and went the two of them, he and Samuel, outside. They as were going down to the outskirts of the city, and Samuel said to Saul, Tell the servant, and go on ahead of us. And he went on, But you stand here a while, that I may announce to you the word of God. Chapter 10 of 1 Samuel, interlinear version at BibleHub.com. The subtitle is Samuel Anoints Saul. And took Samuel a flask of oil, and poured it on his head, and kissed him, and said, Because it is not has anointed you Yahweh over his inheritance, commander, when you have departed today from me, and you will find 2 men by tomb of Rachel in the territory of Benjamin, in Zelzah, and they will say to you, Have been found the donkeys which you went to look for. Now has ceased your father caring about the donkeys, and is worrying about you, saying, What shall I do about my son? When you go to Google and you put in King Saul artifacts, Israel, Shiloh, number of images come up, and then if you go to tools, you can see labeled which images are labeled for reuse. So that's when I got some of these pictures on the screen here, and this is one that shows about Baal, Baal, that was mentioned in this story, one of the small g gods that when the people did not, when they turned away from this when they turned away from this small g god or image, they had help with Yahweh and the ark in defeating the Philistines. When we do a Yahoo search, and it will probably work out also for Google, on Beth Shemesh, the city, there is lots of archaeology going on there, archaeological digs, so we can see many pictures of what's going on with archaeological findings in this area. We might hope to find a big rock it's marking some spot related to that story that we just read. On Google, Wikipedia, when we go to Wikipedia, it's also called B-E-I-T, Beit Shemesh, and then they do say that it's also called Beth Shemesh. It has a picture, modern Bet Shemesh. So there is evidence that this town could have existed in the past, because something still exists in that area with the same name. Here's a picture of the city at Gath, G-A-T-H. So there's also evidence that is true. They call it a Philistine city. This has been Eco-Peace Christian, Linda, on YouTube channel. And the former channel is Eco-Peace Vision, which does have the first 4 shows of the key Bible readings on it. If you tuned in late, or if you didn't know this reading series is, I understand, given to us. It was given to me to read in the order that I'm reading it, and I understand that this is a request of SelfExistentOne, who in BibleHub.com, the interlinear version, that is who is called Yahweh. It's 4 letters, Y-H-W-H in ancient Hebrew. Hebrew isn't capitalized, but it's always capitalized, a lot, out of respect. But they have put the letters to make to us so that we can pronounce it Yahweh. And so Yahweh is like a nickname, and also there's other terms of endearment like Adonai. But I understand that this name in ancient Hebrew has been translated as He exists. The Y is like the He, and then the 3 letters are to exist. And that I understand from the same being, Yahweh, that Moses heard can be called I am that I am. And I have heard that also from a man of God that I learned this from. And that another name is SelfExistentOne, for that the name that the BibleHub.com translation translates as Yahweh, that can also be translated as SelfExistentOne. So besides the Eco-Peace Christian channel, you can also look at the Eco-Peace Vision channel on YouTube, and when you go there, you click the tab that says videos, and there's about 25 videos, and many of them are very important. But the key reading series, that has been specifically that is specifically for us to listen to, and it's specifically supposed to get on radio stations. And there's another one that is message. There's another one that's a message from SelfExistentOne, and that is the show entitled Red Alert Earth Day Message 2018. And so that is also on the Eco-Peace Vision channel.